Somewhere in the bowels of the city that never sleeps,
Kevin McCullough, radio host with Salem Media,
is a man also not sleeping.
Syndicated radio talk show host Kevin McCullough.
And that guy would like a word with you.
Many of you know him as Nostradamus.
Of course that Kevin show is going to be great. The only thing that could be greater, of course, would be that Donald show. We don't have that, so we have that Kevin show.
Featuring the music of Dick Tunney and the Dream in Color Orchestra. Yet to come on That Kevin Show. What does a Baldwin brother, a biodome, and a biblical thief have in common? Ask that Stephen. And he's moved on from Good Friday to hear Heartbeats on Resurrection Sunday. Andrew Peterson. And now, from Times Square, the literal home of the origin story of the cross and the switchblade, here's that Kevin.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we continue with our Easter weekend special. It's called Heaven, How I Got Here, the story of the thief on the cross. Once again, here's Stephen Baldwin.
You can't even save yourself. You are not the Son of God. You're a fake. Take a good look, people. That is the face of religion. Submit. And with every last gasping breath, I will hate you. But why? Why? And then it hit me. I hate God. The same God who allowed Rome to stomp all over his people. The same God who allowed that tax man to extort from my family. The same God who made a world where people die like animals on wooden beams. Pain fueled my hatred. I hated Rome. I hated God. And I hated myself. I was on the brink of hell. And I could taste it already. How to explain what happened next. All I can tell you is this strange stillness came over my soul. And for the first time, I began to think very seriously about my situation. My life was slipping away. I could see it fading from the earth. I had not planned for this. And I had not prepared for it either. The rabid crowd continued. So I looked over at this King of the Jews to see how he was responding. And he wasn't. He was just looking at them. And just taking it and looking at them and taking it and taking it and taking it. And they were screaming at him and throwing things at him and spitting on him. And he was just doing nothing. He was just silent. Suddenly, my mind goes back to when I was a small boy and I was sitting there in temple listening to the reading of the Holy Scriptures. I would hear my rabbi's voice again, and he would be speaking about the Messiah. He was painfully abused, but he did not complain. He was silent, like a lamb being led to a slaughter. Then I started thinking, what if it's him? What if it is? And then I hear my mother's voice saying to me, Stephen, fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. The fear of the Lord. I had always believed in God, but there's a big difference between believing in God and fearing Him. A lot of people who say they believe in God give very little place to Him in their lives. But fearing God means you give weight to Him in what you say and what you do. I had always acknowledged God, but I never feared Him. I lived at a distance from God, and now, hanging next to Him, I was dying far from Him. What will happen to me next? Where will I go from here? I didn't know. Over the years, I really hadn't cared, but right now, nothing mattered more. The crowd continued with their abuse, led by the other thief. So I said to him, don't you fear God? Don't you fear God? We are being punished justly, but this man has done nothing wrong. My words were as much a surprise to me as everyone else that was there. Me, who had a defense for everything. I rejected the temple because the temple had failed me. I stole from Rome because Rome had stolen from me. I could justify anything with that defense. I was good, they were bad. I was right, they were wrong. You take from me, well, guess what? I'm going to take from you. But now I began to wonder if my greatest theft was not against Rome or the temple, but against God Himself. God gave me a life that I spent on myself. I saw it as my life that I can do whatever I want. And just acknowledging Him is good enough. But as I hung there now, bleeding to death, I knew I was far from good and far from God. What if He was the Messiah? What if He is the Son of God? I heard the crowd say, He saved others, so I thought, maybe He could save me. And if He is the King of the Jews, He He must have a kingdom, but he's here dying, so surely his kingdom doesn't belong to this world. And if he is God in the flesh, well, then he is for sure the Christ. And if he is the Christ, he saves people. He takes them with him into his kingdom. Maybe he could save me.
Stick around for more of That Kevin. Next, That Kevin Show with Kevin McCullough.